I want your money, I'm strapped for cash. I need your money, too lazy to get a job. Give me your money, I'm not being funny. Give me your money today.
This is a brilliant work of satire. It's my new favourite show.
Right up front, I'm in the mood to have a certain group of click-hungry, algorithm-chasing Patreon vampires pissed off at me today. You are wrong about the original She-Ra Princess of Power being an unassailable classic. Look at this. Look at the Frank Frazetta by way of Lisa Frank monstrosity you are all butthurt about. This was a slapdash joint venture between Mattel and Filmation to cash in on the success of Masters of the Universe to create little more than He-Man but for girls who play with Barbie dolls. Yeah, it was kitschy and charming. How could it not be? It's a Filmation joint. But it was only ever a low-budget extended toy commercial like the George Lucas by way of Robert E. Howard's Spear counterpart it spun off from. And now you're still wailing and gnashing your teeth over a radical redesign that makes She-Ra look less like Boris Vallejo Barbie and more like the Lisa Frank version of a Stormcast Eternal. And not only are you still a bunch of misogynistic morons who think women only exist to shove their boobs in your face, your fears at a reimagining of the 1984 Filmation animated series being some kind of SJWified disaster are completely unfounded. Because this show straight up rules. Regardless of what you knuckleheads think about a scorpion girl built like a brick shithouse in a slinky little black dress, walking arm in arm with a cat girl in a tux with a playfully loose bow tie.
Yeah, it's cool. Bow ties are cool.
Ahem. And now our story. On the distant and magical world of Etheria, two best friends are growing up groomed to be soldiers for the evil Hordak and his horde. Catra and Adora, here an orphan found and raised by Hordak's second-in-command Shadow Weaver and promoted over her cat-eared BFF, which begins to strain their friendship. This friendship is further strained by Adora stumbling across the fabled Sword of Protection, which transforms her into the warrior woman She-Ra and brings her to a crossroads that puts her on the path of the Great Rebellion, where she meets new friends Bo and Glimmer and learns she's been backing the wrong horse, taking up a new mission to reform the Princess Alliance that fractured many years ago and take the fight to the Horde. Right up front, the main thing to recommend here is the characters, an eclectic assortment of not just interesting reimaginings of the classic Princess of Power toys, but even compelling and complex characters in their own right. From Adora and Catra's strained we used to be like sisters relationship to Adora's three caballeros friendship with Bo and Glimmer, to the rest of the Princess Alliance, such standouts being Granola Girl Perfuma, wacky engineer Entrapta, flamboyant bon vivant Seahawk, brusque but loyal Mermista, and child prodigy Frosta. Even Catra has to sweat out a vaudeville routine with Scorpia, here a big dumb lovable lug who's much friendlier than any dumb muscle of the bad guys has any right to be. And the humor is the other thing to recommend. This show refuses to take itself all that seriously, recognizing that a young audience will be more receptive to something that's less Lord of the Rings, and more pointing and laughing at its own source material's inherent, it was the 80s and cocaine is a hell of a drug ridiculousness, while still managing to deliver thrills, action, a compelling story about overcoming adversity, learning from our mistakes and seeing past our differences.
Plus, your friend over there can turn into a 8-foot-tall lady with a sword, and I want her on my side.
And just enough heart to make us care even when a horse is turned into a pretty princess winged unicorn, who's kind of a jerk but a loyal friend regardless. 4 spellbooks out of 4. If you have any young girls in your family, they need to see this show yesterday. It's streaming on Netflix. What are you still doing here? Go! Watch this show. It's good for you, and it'll make the usual gang of assholes lose their damn fool minds, which is also fun.